Okay, what's up? So I was supposed to start the stream a little bit ago, but I messed up my timing on it. I was thinking the wrong time zone. Let me grab some water here, and I'll start this. Alright, so I'm actually shoutcasting a match between CLG and TSM. So I've got the replay paused right now. I'm about to start that up here in just a second. But this is a game for the Gamecom Faceoffs. The teams were actually chosen by popular votes on the Facebook, and this is the match that happens. So let me just take a look at the teams real quick, and then I'll unpause it. Alright, so right here on blue team, looking at some CLG action. We've got Hotshot playing the old school right here, and this should be good. He's actually playing it in the jungle, though. Usually used to see him play Cho'Gath as a top laner, so we'll see how he plays this out. I'm actually gonna go ahead and hit play, and we'll go ahead and get the match started. So, all right, Diana. I'm surprised they let them have Diana. Diana is a really strong pick, and I've noticed that everyone really has her as kind of a pretty much a first pick in almost all the situations. That's what I've been seeing anyways in competitive play, just because she is so easy to play and is very strong. She snowballs very heavily. But let's see, playing against a Karthus, that shouldn't be too hard as far as I'm aware. I haven't had any trouble playing against squishier champions with Diana, but as long as Reggie is able to kind of play back and use the strength of Karthus, which is being able to farm from a distance, then he should be okay. Oh, and it looks like he might get ganked here in the forest. They are coming up on him. He's really low. That was actually very close. If they had any kind of stun in that situation there, he would have definitely gone down. If Cho'Gath had been able to land a rupture or something of that nature, that would have definitely done it. So they force him to go back. They're going to try and take out their blue buff here potentially, or not. I don't know. They do have it warded, so they might just go ahead and back up to his own jungle. Yeah, that's what they're going to go ahead and do. So they've got them pretty much scared to go in there, but I think that with the odd one's wards, he probably isn't too concerned with that, but they will know when the odd one goes for the blue buff, and they might be able to do something about that. Otherwise, they're just going to have that vision. So anyways, let's take a look at TSM for a second. This is going to be a really strong combo down in the bottom lane. They're going to have Ezreal with his poke is actually really strong versus a Vayne. So I'm curious to see how Double Lift actually is going to do versus Ezreal in the laning phase. Now, obviously Vayne can really stack up late game once she gets him out. Oh, it looks like the camp actually reset there. That's unfortunate. Now, it doesn't look like he's actually going to be going against Vayne, so Double Lift's not going to have that issue where Ezreal is really strong against Vayne early game. So that's not going to be a big deal. Instead, it's going to be interesting that we're seeing him. Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention. He's actually playing top lane here, so he's not going to be playing against Karthus. Instead, we're going to be seeing Katarina, which is very interesting. Obviously, Katarina is not going to be doing so well in a 1v2 situation, so that's why they stuck her in the middle lane there and having Big Fat go up top. So they're just kind of switching stuff all around this game. Already going to be an early gank at level 1. Hotshot coming down here. Well, I guess not even a gank. He's just kind of coming in and shoving the lane in. I'm not really sure what the strategy is behind that. Maybe he had trouble picking up his camp early on. Yeah, it looks like he didn't even pick up any of his camps, so I wasn't paying attention to that, but they're going to go ahead and have him start on the enemy blue. But since they did have that warded, they noticed that the odd one didn't grab that blue. So I must have missed the, they must have fought or something there when I was watching the other lanes. And here comes Xpecial coming back to the top lane. I'm curious to see how Big Fat does against this lane, seeing as how it's actually pretty difficult to 1v2 against most lanes, but with an Ezreal and a Nunu, that's even going to be harder since he's going to run out of mana, and then it's going to be really difficult for him to last hit. As you can see, he's already getting poked really low. He's going to have to sit behind the turret, and you can definitely build Diana as a bruiser, but she is not early game as tanky as she could be once she has that. Well, obviously when she has the items, but with the shield, she should be able to at least defend from a little bit of poke that they land. If he maxes that shield first, that should make it a little bit easier to run up and last hit a little bit while taking some punishment in return without losing all of his HP. I'm gonna go ahead and check out the other lanes here. And I think that once Voyboy gets going, I feel that Katarina, she has that really strong presence in kind of the mid-late game, but has a little bit of weaker early. Unless you max that W, the W can really do a lot of damage. And I think that's what people have been doing, as you just throw out that Q, then bam, you can clear out the wave really quickly with the new W skill. I do like the new Katarina, so I've heard some people talk about, you know, they do or they don't like it, but I feel like overall she seems like she has been stronger in the games that I've seen. People have been able to do better with her. Bottom lane, Dyrus can be 1v2. Seems like he's going to have the better situation as far as 1v2 is concerned, but that's going to be hard to say. Overall, though, he is actually out farming their top lane, so you can say that he is definitely doing better in the 1v2 situation. Of course, it is only 5 minutes in, and oh my god, they are actually... Looks like they almost had a dive there or something like that, but nothing successful so far. And yeah, everyone's just kind of running around doing their own thing here. Hotshot does have that red buff, still doesn't have his blue yet, since he got... did he give that away? I don't know. He must have given it away because they were doing that camp, but I thought they had truly gotten that. Hotshot now getting caught here as he was trying to do some counter juggling, but it looks like they will be giving the first blood to Voyboy since he is now level 6. He was able to pick up the kill, turn on his ultimate. Did get exhausted by Reggie though, so the full damage didn't go off. He's gonna get tower dove here, probably will go down, but I think Voyboy will die as well. And oh my god, Reggie's actually gonna get away with that with just no HP at all. Voyboy got completely outplayed on that one just by Reggie running around the turret essentially. It was really close. I think if not for that exhaust, he would have definitely died there just due to the damage from the ultimate on Katarina. And like I said, Katarina does have a little bit lower damage early game, so that's just kind of what I was talking about there, and you know, it's really easy to see that. All right, so let's take a look here. I think that Dyrus playing on this, it would have been nicer to see him play this with a potential Vayne, but Ezreal not necessarily the worst. It's just that he's got a lower range, but if he can get fed up here on the top lane, he should be good to go. What I'm talking about is that when York uses his ultimate, there's certain carries that are better with it than others. For example, Vayne will actually use her passive when she's a ghost form, so she can use her silver boats whenever she's a ghost. And also champions with longer range really good as a ghost, so if you get someone like Tristana, that works out really well as well. And they are putting a lot of pressure on this bottom lane, trying to take down the turret. Since Dyrus doesn't have a lot of wave clear potential, they can definitely poke that tower down really quickly, and that's really the whole purpose behind going in these 2v1 situations, is you want to take down the turret as fast as possible. So whichever solo champion can defend their lane the longest is pretty much the winner in a lot of these situations. Obviously farm is going to be a big one as well, but it's not going to be as big as holding on to that tower as quick as possible. So here's a lot of damage going down to the odd one. He's going to go down very quickly. Ultimate being used by Karthus as well to contribute to that damage, as well as get the assist in that situation. And this is a 4-man dive onto the bottom lane. Dyrus using his ultimate to try and do some damage, but he's not going to actually pick up any kills in that situation. And they might just take down the turret. No, it looks like everyone is too low to stick around, so rather than try and shove down the turret with just a very minute amount of creeps that they have, they're going to back off instead. Doublelift actually stopped his back and looks like he's going to try and steal his blue buff. They do have a ward on that though, so if the odd one comes down there and tosses out a sapling, no, it doesn't look like he's going to do that. So he's just going to go ahead and give up that blue. He knows that he's not going to get there in time, and he would have had to... I think he could have potentially got that if he sapling and then smited, but I don't think he wanted to risk getting caught and dying in the jungle there. There you go. You can see that Keox is trying his best to shove down this lane very quickly and take out that turret as fast as possible. They want to get to the roaming stage as soon as they can. And that's kind of what I'm feeling the meta's kind of shifting towards, is dominating the early game as fast as possible and moving towards, you know, the early grouping and clearing of towers. So you don't see that so much now in solo queue. Everyone's kind of sticking to the whole, you know, everyone goes bottom lane strategy, as it does take a little bit more coordination to do some of this team strategy, and that's actually, I like it a lot, because it just shows that, you know, competitive LoL is moving farther away from just being good as an individual player and more into having a strategy as a team and playing well, communicating, and getting everything just right in that situation. Chowster now getting caught in the bush here by Dyrus. Is going to be fine though, because he can slow him down, turn him into a little critter there, cute little critter, and Dyrus is going to have to back off with Hotshot on the way as well. Hotshot does have that Oracles quite early. Let's take a look. He's got Boots of Mobility and Oracles, so he's ready to roam around the map as fast as possible, take out the wards so that they have no vision of him coming, and see for, you know, see if he can get any things off. Now, he hasn't had anything super successful just yet, but just the fact that they have no wards will be enough to, you know, make it to where they have to play a bit more defensive and not put themselves in front of a situation where they would be more confident previously. So let's take a look at the farm here between the middle lanes. I didn't actually look at that for a while. So they're actually very close. Katarina just barely behind Reginald right now. So that's pretty good being a melee, but again, Katarina has a really good you know, time against certain champions. And I think against Karthus is definitely one of them. She's very mobile, so it's hard for him to land his Qs on her. If she just blinks, then she automatically dodges out of those abilities. Looks like Chowster trying to get a little bit of farm there, possibly. Yeah, he's got like 13, not a lot, but it's not necessarily a bad thing for supports to get farm. The faster they can get those support items, the quicker you'll be at a stronger position in teamfights. So if you have an Aegis up on the enemy team really early in the game, and you go into a Dragon team fight, for example, then you're going to be much stronger. Now, in this particular case, she's not going to have that, but they are going to go ahead and start on that Dragon. They've got all 5 here, and there are 2 people top lane for TSM, so I don't think they're going to be able to contest this Dragon if they actually get started. They are kind of taking their time to start that, I guess, checking for wards, making sure that they don't have any vision, knowing that they're doing this Dragon. So they're going to get a free Dragon here, not even contested at all. I'm not sure if TSM knew that was happening or if they just decided to let it happen. Now look, right here we're going to have a 4-man dive onto the bottom lane. Looks like a Rupture will stop Chaos from getting out of there, especially with it too fast. Nice ultimate from Reginald to try and do some extra damage. Chaos, can he get one kill? Yes, he does grab at least 1 extra kill there. Dyrus with his teleport tried to come and help out, and that was actually very good. He got a double kill from that 1 dive there, and all they did was kill Nunu, which is not the best since there was 4 of them there, and he's a little bit lower level, so it didn't give him the best experience or gold in that situation, and instead Chaos actually got fed. So that was a really good job from Dyrus, and Chaos actually played it superb, like being able to just kind of blink out of there perfectly. So really good job. Chaos just using the you know, the blinks from Ezreal. And that's one of the reasons that Ezreal is so strong, is he can kind of kite a whole team backwards, essentially, by using his Qs at long range and then blinking backwards with his Arcane Shift at the right time, then obviously he has flash up, that's another blink, so just so much mobility allows for Ezreal to really have so much strength in a lot of these different situations. Alright, so right now we're taking a look at a little bit of an engage here. Big Fatal, he's trying to put some damage onto Dyrus. Obviously he's going to be really tanky, so it's going to be hard to do too much. But now with Voyboy there and an Ignite, that's going to clean it up. That was a very good play overall. He got his reset points back and he's really safe. They're not going to continue pushing this because they don't have any range here, but they can kind of sit back and wait for someone to make a mistake. If they can get Big Fat to land his Q on a squishy and then jump in, and then you'll have Voyboy do the same. They've got a very blinky assassin team going on here, and it's really going to come down to TSM needing to just really position themselves perfectly and not let their squishies get in a situation where they're going to get caught. And on the other hand, Karthus is actually good for this team because he essentially just can stand in the middle of these two melee champions, and Vayne is also a lower range champion, so he can potentially do a lot of AoE damage to their whole team, even if he dies, obviously. And so that's one thing. Melee tends to not do as well against Karthus since they still take damage even after they kill him. Overall though, let's take a look and think about the late game here for a minute. We've got a pretty good setup for both teams, I think, but I feel like TSM has a stronger late game, so if CLG can get a foothold and start to sway this in their favor sooner, that's going to be a big thing for them. They obviously need that. I feel like Diana does kind of fall off in certain situations, and in this particular game, I feel like she will, since they've got a lot of damage reduction there from the odd one they're going to have. Of course, like I was just talking about, the AoE from Karthus doing work, and then they have Nunu, who is another one that's just great against melees. He's going to stand on top of their squishies, turn on his ultimate, and everyone will slow down. They can't get to the target. And of course, with the blinks, that's going to make it a little bit easier. And this is going to be really bad for Reggie. He's going to take tons of damage. That was perfect timing. They actually sniped him out there. I guess they just were like, I don't know if they had that ward there prior to that or what, but either way, they saw that he was going to go for those wolves. They waited for him to come out, and they sniped him out. That was a great play overall. Alright, in top lane, Dyrus is just shoving this down as much as he can solo. I don't know if he has his teleport up yet. Let's see, yeah, it's still a little bit on cooldown, but it'll be up fairly soon. It's just about a quarter of the way done. And from what I can tell, everyone is just kind of sitting around, picking up buffs, doing a little bit of farming. They still haven't taken down the mid or top turret here, so and same thing, just swapped and reversed for the other team. Usually with these early game strategies, the 2v1s, they generally want to try and take out the turrets by 16 to 20 minutes, and that's definitely not happening. So I'd say both teams are doing a really good job of kind of turtling it out and protecting their turrets as much as possible. They have done some damage to both of them, from what I can tell. Not so much on the top lane though for CLG. Who is going to lose their turret first? That is the question. I think whoever loses their two front turrets first is going to take a big dive and start to fall behind quickly. But I could be wrong. Could be a nasty dragon fight or even a Baron fight that determines it. And I feel like this is going to be a real snowbally game. And if TSM uses one critical fight, CLG is going to just take the lead very quickly and make it very difficult for them to come back from. So with 3 people down on bottom, you have the odd one coming down to help out as much as possible. He doesn't want to lose that second turret there. I think they should be fine, but they are just waiting for someone to step out and make a mistake. This could be really nice. There's a wall. They know that they're there, waiting there, and Big Fat LP gets engaged on. He's going to do a lot of damage to the odd one, though, and looks like the odd one will die as well. Double Lift picks up that kill, so great job there. Exhaust goes down, making Reginald not do as much damage with his AoE, but he will have his ultimate ready to go after he dies, and isn't able to pick up any kills. Triple kill for Vayne. Double Lift is carrying like a boss right now, and more action happening as Chaos is going to go down to Voyboy. potentially. No, he doesn't go down. Actually, double lift, stays alive down there after that, gets that triple kill. And will they be able to pick up Expression here? And looks like they will. As Boy is coming in, he's extremely slow down here. And even with his flash, oh no, actually they're not gonna be able to pick it up. So he did have his flash that whole time within that fight. If he didn't have his flash, obviously he would have died, but that was a good flash in behind the turret, and Boy didn't want to go in for the kill, as he would have just been snowballed and kited. Whew! So that's a lot of words there, but overall that was a great fight for CLG, I have to say, with Vayne getting fed. Again, Vayne has kind of a weaker early game, but since they did the 2v1 lane, she was able to avoid that, and she can go straight into having that late game power, especially now after getting a triple kill. I think CLG is really just kind of waiting for Double Lift to carry this game to completion. Looks like Chaos actually DC'd, which is unfortunate. Hopefully he'll be right back. I'm sure it won't take him too much. He's back. He's running around on his own, so maybe that was just a replay glitch. And Hotshot trying to come in here and do some counter jungle action, pushing back Darius and Reggie. They are not going to be able to pick out the blue buff for Reggie, which is unfortunate, as he's already at half mana, and he's not going to be able to do as much work in these fights as he would like to. Hotshot picking that one up, no problem, and they are just going to back off to this dragon. So I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier. One fight is all it's going to take for CLG to start snowballing, and I feel like that is what is happening right now. They picked up that dragon. They've got all those kills on the double lift. He's picked up the Bloodthirster, and he's already working towards the Phantom Dancer, so they should have that very soon. And they are quite strong right now. The right champions have the kills here. You've got Boy already with an Abyssal, and that's going to do some heavy work with the spell pin action. Also with Diana there, it's going to help out. So if they both jump in, Diana's going to get the benefit of her Abyssal, and without having to build her own as well.
Rampage.
Alright, so looks like he's actually building into a DFG, so he's just going straight up, and yeah, that's probably going to be like 2 DFGs. Yeah, they both have the Kage, so that's going to be 2 DFGs. They're going to be able to completely nuke someone down so fast once they get into a fight situation. So they're going to make it a quick 4v5. It's looking pretty strong so far, but they have to be able to nuke someone down. If TSM gets to the point to where they're tanky enough, or they play it correctly and they don't get nuked down instantly, and they're able to prolong a fight, then I feel like they're going to win that out almost always. Of course, if Double Lift continues getting so fed, it probably won't even matter, because he's just going to basically 1v5 their team essentially. He's going to take them all down so fast. And that's really what it comes down to. Hotshot being just a pure tank right here. Doesn't have any damage. He's just going to run in and be a CC monster, trying to absorb as much damage as possible. And it's actually really, against an Ezreal, it's not so bad, because he can kind of stand in front of his team and absorb those Qs from Ezreal, and Ezreal can really shoot around him as well. So that's kind of one thing to consider also. Alright, so Double Lift now picking up that red buff, and they are getting ready for their next team fight, as well as both teams setting up for this Baron buff. Chash are going to be clearing out wards as much as possible, and I think that we could see a little bit of contention happening in this area, as now that they've cleared out those wards, they're going to be forcing TSM to actually go to that area and either reward or fight off that Baron. Nice bait. And here it comes. Looks like Chaos is going to try and catch Hotshot there, and a flash forces the odd one to get caught behind the turret there, so they are going to be taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Chaos being the one taking the turret hits, not the right decision. And this is going to be a terrible fight. Holy crap, as everyone is going down. Triple kill now, and that is just terrible. Double kill for Boy as well. That's going to be the ace, and they're going to be picking up this Baron. I think that just might be GG. Unfortunately, Chaos, you know, he took those turret down. Yeah, they went ahead and surrendered. They knew that that was game over for them. There was not much they can do to come back from that one. And so that's going to be game number 1 going to TSM, and we're going to be watching game number 2 here in just a sec.